What is going on?
Just got a great big convoy riding
Some
through
convoy.
riding through the sky or whatever. I can't remember how the song goes.
We went to Richmond Road, so we took the Queensway today. Obviously avoided the core, downtown core, but on the way back, we must have seen like maybe 20 truckers up until Nicholas.
Mother truckers.
All there for the right cause. You know, they want their freedom back.
That's right. Freedom
Man, oh,
isn't
man.
free.
Man, oh man. Like, do we even jump into that and vent our frustration with the stupidity that is everyone these days?
Yeah, it's hard to compete with stupid now.
It really is. It really is. You know, we want our freedoms back, and I think there's a bit of a disillusion between what their freedom is and what like true oppression is and what true tyranny is, and they've never experienced anything like that, and they have the choice to do what they want to do. They just have to live with the consequences. And it's and then I'd say like what's really upset me was seeing what happened with the Terry Fox statue, where they're just basically appropriating their agenda, or his agenda for their own, and quite disgraceful. So
yeah, it was very much a lot of people saying that I was with you until then. Like, that's the line, you've crossed it. Now you've gone too far.
How long do you think it's gonna last?
I don't know. It's gonna be mighty cold tonight.
Yeah. I read a tweet this morning, and it was I have to pee is picking up momentum in the downtown core.
Yeah.
I got a good laugh out of that. I have to use the facilities is trending online.
Yeah. You can't go in anywhere.
No, they really can't. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this is just a weekend thing and people just get tired and whatever, or if it's gonna. There's gonna be a point though where they're just gonna have to step in and say, okay, you've had your 48, 72 hours, whatever that number might be. You've got to go home now.
Well, like with the exception of the truckers and everyone complaining, I keep forgetting that, or I keep thinking that people are forgetting that all these mandates are at the provincial level. So you're complaining to the wrong. You're in the wrong town. You should be down at Queen's Park.
You should be going back down. You missed it when you were coming from Kingston.
Yeah, you zigged when you should have zagged.
Yeah. Oh man, you know what? They're too busy, having interviews with CBC and eating their processed food, but not wanting to get anything unnatural put into their body. Right?
No, they need their ho-hos or Joe Louis
or Twinkies.
Yeah, not to knock on the Joe Louis. They are tasty.
Oliver is allergic to peanuts, so we were kind of hoping that they were one of those treats that did not contain peanuts. And so last time we were at the grocery store last weekend, every one of them was may contain peanuts, but we were just building up the hype as we were going there. Like we were talking about Twinkies and passion flakes and caramels, and like you go down the list. And he's just getting amped and hyped, and I'm gonna try this one. When we get there, and we just pop the balloon. Like, sorry, may contain peanuts. Sorry, kid.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that everything is made in the same factory as everything now, right?
Yeah,
cost-cutting measures.
I just really, I wish I hadn't have built the hype up as strong as I did, and because after we'd read that, I was like, you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, they were actually kind of crap. They weren't really that good at all. So you're not missing out on anything.
But that's what a parent's supposed to do. You're supposed to build them up and then just crush their dreams.
I mean, what else are we here for, right? What else are we here for?
You have to prepare them for the world that is just a soul-crushing smorgasbord.
That's right. So what did you get up today with the -1,000,000 temperature?
Not a whole hell of a lot. The kids wanted to play with their tents that they have, little pop-up tents, so we set those up around the house. And then within, say, a half hour of that getting set up, it was, I want to do something else.
Of course,
So
right?
they spent most of their time just drawing and writing stories in the kitchen at the table with their crayons and their pencil crayons and their
There you
pencils.
go. Nice.
I never realized that there's a certain age where 500 sheets of white paper is just the greatest thing in the world.
And it's amazing, and it'll last for forever. But then, as a parent, you see them draw one line, and they're like, "Oh no, I'm not happy with it." It's like, just like turn it over. Like you're okay.
Yeah,
fly.
We have probably 6 or 7 reams of old copy paper that's been sitting for years. We have one left.
Did you procure that from Dwight or Jim?
It was on the website.
It was on the website.
Yeah,
with the
order one ream and it says thanks for ordering.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, the machine knows. It knows. It knows what I did.
What was the platform called?
Dunder Mifflin Infinity.
Infinity, thank you.
Yeah, I got in before all the sexual predators.
Oh, Dunder Mifflin Infinity.
DMI.
Dunder Mifflin Infinity.
Dunder Mifflin, the people person's paper people.
We started watching Ozark.
I've heard nothing but great things about it.
Okay, so you haven't watched it then, eh?
I have not. I fear it's one of those letdown ones because the hype is so high on it.
Okay, so Jade and I are notorious for starting shows and not finishing them, getting a handful of episodes in or a handful of seasons in and just not finishing the series.
Yep.
And last time I counted, I think we're up to like 16 or 17 shows. So we're very notorious for that. And we had started watching Ozark. I'd say maybe when the first season was done. Season 4 had just started last week or so.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I think we got 3 episodes in, and I found it too dark. I found it hard to hear. Maybe I'm going deaf. I don't know. And maybe I wasn't in the right mindset for it. So we kind of scrapped it, and we started up again because, again, like to your point, hearing everyone say good things about it, not hearing a bad thing about it. And this time around, actually, I'm quite hooked, and it is quite good. We're only 5 episodes in, so not not a whole season or 2 or 3, but it's got me hooked for sure. So I would definitely recommend it. I get the vibe of it being like this generation's Breaking Bad, if you wanna call it that. Justin Bateman wanted to be the new Walter White of TV or streaming services or whatever we call it nowadays.
Yeah, I think everything's TV, regardless of what it is. Because that's what you're watching on.
Netflix, yeah. I would recommend it though if you are looking for something new to watch.
One I was always wanted to get into and haven't, and I don't know if there's a point because they're not going to continue. It was Mindhunters.
Oh, is that the one where they like dissect the profiling of like serial killers? And
because I love David Fincher. Like Zodiac's like one of my all-time favorite movies.
Never seen it. I've listened to the podcast from Wondery.
Yeah.
Which is really good, but never saw it. That's one with Robert Downey Jr. and Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah.
It's very jumpy and very creepy, and I think it's both Fincher and the fact that they never caught him, the killer.
Yeah.
It's just like the randomness of it all.
So this Mindhunters, is it based on like actual real people and real stories and crimes and whatnot, or is it all fictional?
Yeah, like the notorious serial killers are like characters in the show.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was only two seasons, and I think like Fincher's stepped away from it and doesn't sound like he's going to go back to it anytime soon.
Because that's a few years old now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a couple years since the second season
on Netflix. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. We've never. I'm very finicky when it comes to, like I can't do gore. Like I like suspenseful. I like true crime. I like all that shit. But I walk a very fine line. Like if it gets too deep on the one side of goriness, then I can't watch it.
What if it's like campy gore?
Oh, like Friday the 13th or something like that?
Yeah, like where Jason and it's just like punches a guy's head clean off.
Oh yeah, no, it's like I read that in the comic book, so
I'm
okay with that.
Or he takes one girl and beats her with another girl.
Yeah, no,
That's
I'm
just
okay
good
with
family
that.
family entertainment.
It's like the saws and
the torture porn, as they call it.
Is that yeah? No, it's not for me. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh. Yeah, Saw walked a fine line for a few of the movies, but then it just went way overboard as it got further down the line.
I just realized my pop filter is blocking 20% of my screen.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to mine. I switched to the cover and put it down, and now I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah, I've got the pop filter and the cover. I mean, seems to be working fine. I listened to the last episode. I wasn't too.
Yeah, it's the hard P's that get you sometimes.
That's it. So yeah, the you had mentioned Zodiac, and there was that podcast that I mentioned, and it was I want to say it was Wondery, and they did 3 seasons, and the first season was on the Atlanta murders, where I guess a bunch of children in the 70s were being murdered by this lunatic down in Atlanta, and then the second season was about the Zodiac killer.
Yeah.
And then the third season was the DC Sniper. And the DC Sniper was the first one that I listened to. And it was amazing because that was what, 2002, 2003? So I was, early 20s.
Yeah.
And, but it had been so long that I forgot. And so it was almost like I was hearing it again for the first time. But then as they were going through the episodes further down into the series, or the season rather, it was all starting to come back to me. And I asked Jade, who's 4 years younger than me, I think she's around your age, if she recalled the DC Sniper, and she couldn't remember it. And so I had her listen to the season, and it was unbelievable. They were interviewing, I shouldn't say unbelievable because a lot of people went through some terrible things during that time, but very, very captivating. And she enjoyed it. But so if you haven't listened to it, I would recommend it. Are we plugging other podcasts on this podcast?
Always.
I guess, yeah. Why not, right?
What are they going to do? Thank us?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a father and son, right?
It was a like an adopted father and son.
Yeah, growing up, my mom was very much into CNN watching, like religiously. So it's basically anything post 9/11. It was CNN was on in between actual programming. So yeah, that was on when I would come home from school. That and the OJ trial when I was even younger.
The OJ trial. There was, the girl falling down the well. I think that's what really launched the whole 24-hour news network.
There's that Susan Smith, right, with the kid, the black man who took her kids in the back seat, and turns out she drowned them in the river.
What?
Don't remember that one?
No, I do not.
I can't remember if it was what it was part of. It could have been even a segment of Bowling for Columbine, but there was talk. It was the whole thing of they use it a lot. I guess case studies of America's fear of the young black man, because as she said, that was like the description she gave the cops, and everybody believed it. It's like, oh yeah, this young black man hijacked the car or carjacked the car and took off with my kids in the back seat, and no one questioned it. There was an APB out looking for this car. Last seen here with a African American of X age just stole the car. Look out for the kids, and little did they know she just drove her car with the kids in the backseat into the river and drowned them.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't remember that. Maybe I saw it and I just took it out of my memory.
Not this warped sense of
Yeah.
everything.
It's like
I want to watch
like
Mindhunters with serial killers.
it's
I
a
remember
vault.
this. Yeah,
It's like a vault.
between bad news stories like that and useless pop culture trivia, it's all up in there.
Switching away from the from serial killers and murderers and stories of that, Evander Kane is now an Edmonton Oiler.
Yeah,
I believe in seventh chances, I guess. Why
that's
not?
what I was
Right?
saying. Like, if he was the problem in Winnipeg, and he was the problem in Buffalo, and he was the problem in San Jose, what's the common denominator? Clearly not him, because he doesn't take responsibility for
I don't get it.
anything.
I get, the Oilers, I think, are a victim of themselves in the sense that they have two of the best players in the world, if not the two best players in the world, and then it falls off a cliff. And they're trying to supplement them as the support, I guess, as best as possible. But why would you go after someone like that, where it's well documented the poison that he's been in the various locker rooms that he's played for, and then off the ice the issues that he's had, and even the cost that I don't know. Like, he got bought out by San Jose, so I don't know how it works in hockey if you get bought out, if any new team is on the hook for the contract. I don't think so. I think he's a free agent.
All I heard was that he signed $750K for the rest of the year.
For prorated, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if that's the answer that they're looking for. They're up 3-0. I just turned on the game just before we started just to see what the score was. So we're up. He scored a goal.
It's one of those things, right? They'll ride the high until it all settles in.
Yeah. I think he needed to score a goal. He needed to come out of the gate and have a good game for the fan base to probably take it easy on him, because if he came out and played a dud of a game, they would have been on him like gangbusters.
Yeah, I don't see a move like this actually going to be one that's going to help long term if they end up keeping him. But I don't think, if they're worried that Draisaitl and McDavid are going to leave, this is not going to solve that problem.
Man, I just have this feeling that McDavid's going to go to Toronto, and it's going to pain me. It's absolutely
everyone seems to be going there.
Can't stand Toronto. Absolutely can't stand Toronto.
But I don't get also how nobody can replicate the success that Pittsburgh had with Malkin and Crosby. Like, you had two young guns and you built around them, and it was sustainable, and it still seemingly is sustainable, even though they're getting injured more and they're getting older. But nobody else can do that. Even the Blackhawks too, with Taves and Kane.
Yeah, but I think you're also forgetting a few other pieces to that puzzle for each of those teams. Like, they had Marc-Andre Fleury, they had Chris Letang, so at least you had someone between the pipes. You had at least one stud defenseman, and then I would say with Chicago, the goalie. There was a few goalies that played for them during that time, but then they had Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook, but I think to your point. Of a 4-line team, 3 players per line, only 2 of them are studs, or like for sure all-star perennial type players. They still had success. Where with Edmonton, it's I don't know why. I don't know how many first round or top 3 draft picks they need to get before they finally do something in the playoffs. This is as an Oilers fan too, so yeah, I don't know.
We can't seem to do it in Canada, I find. Like,
there's too much pressure. I think there's too much pressure. I mean,
Well, that was one of the reasons why that Kane wanted out of Winnipeg. He didn't want to play in Canada.
And he's Canadian, right? Yeah. But you look at Vancouver, like all the Canadian teams made it to the finals.
Except one.
Ottawa?
Toronto.
Or no, sorry, yeah. But I'm saying
since 2000, they've all been up there, except for one.
Yeah. Well, no, Winnipeg hasn't.
I don't count them.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, you're right. I guess that's true, right? Because there was 04, 06, 07, 11, then last year.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. We just couldn't close the deal. The streak from 93 still goes on.
It's I don't know. It's the so the Senators with the West Coast teams. They don't have the greatest success.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, we're the only one of those that didn't. I think, with the exception of now Montreal, that didn't go 7, because Vancouver went 7, Edmonton went 7, Calgary went 7, we went 5, and Montreal, I think, was 6.
So was it? I think it was 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 6. You're right. Oh well. I don't think it's going to happen this year.
Yeah,
there was a good chance last year when the Gordon Downing division, all the Canadian teams played in that one division, but at least that's what I call it. They should have named it the Gordon Downing division.
Yeah, anything's better than what they have with the Northern Atlantic and Metropolitan.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure. Did you tighten up the Florida man? You were talking last week about potentially something on the horizon with Florida man.
Oh yeah, it's getting there. Had a busy work week, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Hall of Fame selection, Big Papi?
I knew he was going to get into it for sure. I think he was a no-doubter, just like Jeter was when he was on the ballot for the first time. I think what's not surprising, but just a reality check is for Bond, Schilling, and Clemens, like where they're done now. The only chance they have is if the Veterans Committee votes them in December, which I think is highly unlikely. But you only have 10 years on the ballot, and that was their 10th and final time.
I think it's good for the game, or
yeah, I mean, yeah. I think you could. I don't know. I mean, when Bonds was playing, I loved watching him at bat. I loved seeing those home runs. Don't get me wrong. Just like I liked seeing McGuire hit bombs,
home run derby.
Yeah,
Sosa, yeah, everybody remembers that.
100%. It was a lot of fun. But if you're being a purist at heart, then I don't think they do belong in the Hall of Fame. Like, I would be okay if they were to maybe perhaps give them a plaque with their name, and then just have them somewhere, maybe in the entrance, like almost like an honorable mention, but just not in the hall. I'd be okay with that. But you kind of reap what you sow, though, right? Like it was a choice that they decided to make. I think more so for Schilling, it was more of what he conducted, or how he conducted himself after his playing days were done, and remarks that he had made and views that he had that alienated himself from the voters. But for Clemens and Bonds, I mean, I can't feel sorry for them whatsoever.
I think if they owned up to it, it would have helped a little bit, or still you think the blemish is there?
Yeah, and I mean, the voters are all also like journalists and, industry writers and whatnot, that they have a long memory of a player, and Bonds and Jeff Kent as well, another one who's nearing his 10-year mark on the ballot, were just horrible to the media. And journalists will long remember how you interact with them, which I don't think it's a valid reason for them not to vote you in. But let's be honest, there's going to be people out there that has that view of them that lingers about when they were in the locker room and how they were treated, that it's going to factor in on how they decide to vote one way or another. But for Ortiz, yeah, like he was amazing. Like I remember that 04 the whole playoff run, and I'm not even a Red Sox fan, but being down 0-3 to the Yankees and then coming back and winning it in 7 and then sweeping St. Louis to break the curse of like what it was at 86 years at the time. He's got 500 plus career home runs. like just a stud all the way around. And even in his last year, I think he was 40-41, and he led the league in home runs and was up there like first, second, or third in RBIs. Just a powerful, fearful hitter. So I know he deserves to go in. But yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know how it is with. I think with hockey, and I could be wrong, but with hockey, you're always going to have 3 players and a builder. I think is every year. Like I think that's how it works. So, and I could be mistaken, but I feel that that's how it is.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a minimum. I don't think there's a maximum.
Yeah. Whereas with baseball, like it could be 1, there could be none. Like last year, there could be 4. There could be. They just have to hit that threshold of 75.
Yeah,
75% of the votes. But then there's like, Justin Morneau failed to reach 5%. Joe Nathan failed to reach 5%, and Joe Nathan is up there in terms of the career leader in saves. He's not first, but he's up there. And if you don't hit that minimum threshold of 5% of the votes, then you get dropped off the ballot. Okay. I think you have to wait a couple of years to come back on. And so this is exciting, though. Like that was the most exciting thing we had for baseball, because I don't think baseball is going to start anytime soon because of the labor issues. So having the Hall of Fame the Hall of Fame announcement was almost just as good. I hope they can come to an agreement and they can send the players to spring training and get the season going. Am I optimistic? Yeah, no. Definitely not.
Are you realistic? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I just hope it's not like hockey was in, what was it, 2004 when they lost the whole season? Yeah.
I don't know if you'll get that again.
I don't. There's too much money to be lost.
Yeah, and it does absolutely damage the brand of the league for sure. But just like you want to have, like, you need to look back, like on the cup until they knock down a few more rings on that. It's gonna have like no season played on it for the longest time. The record books are always gonna have up to 2004 information, and then no season played, and not even for a reason of like, oh, like there was a war, or like what baseball
was the Spanish flu, or
it was just no season because billionaires fought with millionaires.
Yeah, well, in baseball had that. It was a long road back, and you can almost thank the steroid era for the interest that it brought them. But after the 94 lockout, when they locked out the players, that was when Montreal was the best team and arguably the favorite for winning the World Series that year. And then the players got locked out, and then they missed the rest of the season. So a lot of fans turned away from the game. And then, 96, 97, 98, that was when McGuire and Sosa turned up the heat. Bonds started, doing what he was doing, growing. Yeah. His head stayed the same size, but his body was just like expanding, and it brought the fans back. So,
maybe at some point you have to, like, not necessarily, I guess for lack of term, embrace it or just acknowledge it in the Hall of Fame, where it's just like this was the steroids era, and those guys are featured in there with A-Rod and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw an interesting stat, and it was with Bonds not getting in, it was the career home run leader, the career hits leader, and the career, I think, strikeout leader in Clemens are all not in the Hall of Fame because of acts or how they conducted themselves on and off the field, steroids, cheating, whatever. It's not so for a sport. Top home run hitter, top hitter.
That'd be something.
Top strikeout, like it's nuts.
Imagine something came out about Gretzky.
Oh,
like look out!
Oh, I think the world would burn. No, it's already happening.
The hall would burn for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, then I guess brings to the next thing of the rumors of will he, won't he about Tom Brady, like all of his stuff, right? Do you asterisk some of his things or acknowledge that the cheating scandals, the gates, as it were?
For the Inflategate, was there more than just that?
Well, there was the Spygate, right, when they're watching practices and stuff.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily him, but it's the Patriots as a whole.
I think I would put more stock into that if he was only as good as he was during those times or in and around those times. But man, for the 22 years, and so the report came out today that he was retiring, and then it turns out that he hasn't officially made up his mind. So it's, is he on the pot, off the pot? Who knows? But they 7-time Pro Bowler or Super Bowl winner, 3-time MVP, first in wins, first in touchdowns, first in yards, 15-time All-Star. The guy has had a storied career. So I don't think there would be any asterisks for him just because of the consistency and the longevity with both New England and even Tampa Bay for the 2-3 years that he was there. 2 years. I can't see there being any repercussions for those the gates as you had said. So
I just wonder if giving his legacy, if he does retire, if it would have made more sense to do it after the last Super Bowl win rather than come back. And then I didn't even know I figured they made the playoffs, but I didn't even know they were out.
Yeah, they lost last week. I don't know, because the way that they had set up their team, they won the Super Bowl last year, but they set up the team in such a way that they could have almost had a mini dynasty, because they had him, they had, and I'm not a football guy, so I mean, this is just what I know, but I feel like they had all the pieces in place for them to at least go on the small run, much like Denver did with Peyton Manning, where there was those 2-3 years where they were pretty competitive and making it far, winning it once at least, I think. So I think he felt he could have done it, but maybe this year with them losing to LA and just other teams taking that next step forward in their development, maybe he realized that. Or maybe he got hurt during one of the games that nobody saw. Who knows? Guy's 45 years old. 40, I mean, I'm 40, I'll be 42 this year, and I can't imagine being hit at 25% of the force that these guys are going after him with.
Yeah,
so.
I'm 35, and if I'm sitting on the floor with the kids cross-legged for more than 15 minutes, I feel like I need to, take a steam.
Yeah, it's like I saw today. It was I'm 19. My back is 52. My knees are 47, and my shoulder is turning 71 next week.
Have you seen this mini elliptical thing that they have, where it's basically you're pedaling from a sitting down position?
No.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically you sit and then you just put your feet on this pedal, and my favorite is in the commercial, they say sitting down is the new smoking. So I guess you cannot just sit and rest anymore. You have to constantly be in motion to burn calories and keep your circulation going.
Sorry, is this something that you're doing this while sitting on a couch, or is it you're actually in?
Yeah.
Oh,
see if I can find sitting down.
Because wouldn't they have had that type of exercise machine where you're kind of on the ground and exercising?
I know my grandmother has one, but I never seen the actual name of it until I saw this commercial. And
what was it? Was it like a late night? What do you call it? Paid programming, or?
No, it was.
Or was it during daytime?
What was I watching? It was during daytime. I was watching Who is Harry Crumb?
Great John movie.
And it was one of the commercials. Let's see if there it is.
Okay.
QB.
Yeah. Well, that's cute.
So you just ride that guy. Yeah, you just sit there, you put your feet on the pedals, and it keeps track of your mileage and stuff. And because, as they say, sitting is the new smoking.
Oh, it comes in purple too. So that's good. It's a fair price.
I don't know why there's colors, honestly. Oh,
Can we just go back to
maybe
Harry
do I want to
Crumb for
try
a
this?
second, though?
Certainly.
The best part of that movie on Harry Crumb was when he was taking the was it the icing and doing the tanning and like rubbing it all
Yeah.
over the place, and so good, so good. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
There's a lot of stuff that you could not get away with today in that movie.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, when he is visiting the apartment of I guess the mother of the girl who was kidnapped. I forget the names now. I guess her like secret lover, and he's from Alibaba Air Conditioning. So he's way into the Indian stereotype, blackface and turban, and
Oh no.
God rest
Oh
John Candy.
yeah.
But yeah, is that even when he's in the salon? He's like supposed to be like Middle Eastern or something.
That's right. Yeah, and wasn't he wearing the I don't know what you call it, so I don't want to butcher it and be way off. But
Yeah, he's got like all the rings on and stuff.
yeah, and he's wearing like the big puffed like
Yeah.
purple. Yeah,
chains.
Okay, the chains,
the hair.
And
Yeah.
John Candy. Christ, yeah, he went way too young. Way too young. Canadian Bacon was his last movie. I think he died during the making of that.
Yeah, it's heart attack, obviously, given his size. Yeah, him, Chris Farley, like these bigger, versatile guys who just got the short end of the stick.
Energetic too, like they were. Maybe John Candy, not so much as Chris Farley, but running a mile a minute, you know. And
yeah, very slapstick.
Yeah,
Chris
with
Farley.
with their weight and unhealthy lifestyle, perhaps more so with Chris Farley. Like it wasn't built to sustain longevity. Let's be honest, it's unfortunate though. Do you watch SNL at all, or
periodically? It's more like I grew up watching it, not for like who was on based on my age, but I grew up watching all the older ones. So like I would watch the ones with Chevy and Dan Aykroyd and all those guys. But my favorite time is from basically once Phil Hartman was on and Dana Carvey, Mike Myers, Kevin Nealon, even Al Franken, going up until like when we had Schneider and Sandler and Spade and Farley.
Yeah.
Like I didn't watch it much when it was like Will Ferrell and Sherry O'Terry, like when they were doing like the cheerleaders and stuff, but I watched it periodically then. And now I'll catch depending on who's hosting.
We still watch it. I've watched it religiously since I was about, I'd say 9 or 10. There's probably a few years here and there where I stopped maybe during high school, but for the most part we watch it every Sunday. I feel like right now it's in a bit of a lull in terms of talent on the show. Like there's a few funny cast members, like Mikey Day is pretty funny right now. But yeah, like my favorite would have been that early 90s, to your point, up until the early aughts, where it was the David Spades, Chris Farley, Kevin Nealon.
I just felt like it captured not so much just the time period that it was in, but it just really reflected like the peak of what culture was then, with like how much we were in, like even before now, like I know we're way into pulp culture, but it's more nostalgia.
Yeah.
This was like the height of what we're into now is what they were grabbing then and really amplifying it to like the echelon of entertainment value. Like, especially with like, I got Sandler and Spade and Farley, like I can't remember the name of the sketch, but like where they're like the girls sitting in like the mall food court.
Lay off me, I'm starving.
Yeah, exactly.
There was
big hair and everyone's in denim.
What was it? There was the one segment or skit, whether it was reoccurring, and it was it was like almost stories, and it was like my uncle promised to take me to Disneyland one year, and he brought me in the car, and he was so excited, and he ended up taking me to the corner store and buying me a pack of gum. And I can't remember, and I'm not doing it any justice, and I wish I remember what it was called, but that was one of my favorites growing up, so much so that I don't remember what it's called.
Really show your love.
Yeah, I'll have to find out what it was, but I feel it was like Patrick Healy or something like that. SNL. I can't remember. Very riveting. Sorry, my apologies. I should have had this written down.
It's the Google.
Should have had this written down. Yeah, but no, it was. It's not like there's one guy that's doing Donald Trump right now, and he's one of the newer cast members. But man, his impression and his mannerisms are spot on, like way so more than Alec Baldwin was for the last 3 or 4 years.
I think even Alec Baldwin would tell you that his impression was not good.
I think his like size and his like voice and the way he spoke and how loud he was good.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was it. Like he wasn't his voice wasn't there. Like I don't think it was, his hand gestures and his moves, but I feel like just because he was just a big presence that you'd be like, oh yeah, okay, I'll buy that. But this guy that's doing him now is like, you close your eyes and you're like, that's fucking Donald Trump that's speaking right now. And like his mannerisms and the way that he talks, and yeah.
One thing I didn't like is when they seemingly had the whole, what they're doing with the Trump stuff was not that obviously they're beating it into the ground, but it was rather than try to do it well, they just needed to get the big celebs to come along with it. Like rather than getting Jason Sudeikis to redo his Biden, they got Jim Carrey. And then you had other, like I think Ben Stiller was Michael Cohen.
Yeah.
They just kept trying to get all these other A-list celebrities to come on rather than, as you said, play with people who were on the cast that could possibly do it better.
And you know what? That's what they used to do back in the 90s, right? Like you would rely on Dana Carvey to be George Bush. You would rely on...
Well, I think the worst one was, I think Chevy Chase was Gerald Ford, and he I don't even think did makeup or anything. He was just Gerald Ford.
Yeah. And even Will Ferrell is George W.
Yeah.
Dana Carvey did another one too. Ross Perot. Was it Ross Perot?
Yeah, he did Ross Perot.
Yeah, so they used to do...
He did Clinton a couple times. But I think that may have been more the Dana Carvey show, not on SNL. Because Phil Hartman was knocking Clinton.
That was great. Yeah, he did that perfectly.
Until Daryl Hammond took over.
Daryl Hammond. He was great too. Jimmy Kimmel. Let's not forget about Jimmy Kimmel.
Fallon?
Jimmy Fallon, sorry.
Too many
So
Jimmys.
good. Yeah, too many Jimmys. Like he was notorious for breaking character. And it was like, that was one of the best things about watching the episode that week, was like, okay, is he going to make it through the next 2.5 minutes without...
I did hear that irked some cast members because they thought he was doing it on purpose just because people were tuning in for that.
Oh, I could see both sides to that. I could see him totally doing that on purpose, and I could see some people being like, okay, like we've rehearsed this.
Yeah. It's like, you're supposed to be professional. Like, that's why we're here.
A dozen times, and you've been on front of the TV countless times. Like, you should be doing this properly. Yeah, I could see both sides to that. Would you? I wouldn't care.
I guess, if it was increasing our ratings and therefore the show's doing better and we're doing better, there's more eyes on the show, so there's potentially more eyes on me, as long as I'm still getting my sketches in.
Yeah. It's one of my bucket lists. I definitely want to go to a live taping of SNL, and we've been trying for the last number of years, but to no success. Obviously not during COVID, but before that we were... Is it
just to get there, or just it's always booked up?
Yeah, so just to every August 1st, starting August 1st, you have to send an email in for the draw, and then you have to write in your email why you want the tickets, or why you think you deserve the tickets. And every year it's like we come up with this: I've been a huge fan for my whole life, and it would mean the world to me. And
they're probably going, another one.
Yeah, another one. That's right. And he's Canadian. Okay. So yeah, we used to set our alarm on July 31st, and then click the send. And it just never.
Yeah, it never occurred to me
Never
that
worked out.
it would be that popular of a ticket. I guess obviously it's free.
You could go though. You can go because they have their dress rehearsals, and then that's where they decide like what skits they're going to keep and which ones they're going to do. So you can go to like the early show, I guess you would call it, and like the run through if that's what you wanted to say it was.
I think that would be more fun.
Yeah, because you could see the screw ups, you could see sketches that no one would ever see, and then it'd be the funniest sketch ever, and no one would believe you because you have nothing to prove it. Like, I swear it was the best skit ever. Like, I don't.
You'll never see it.
But you'll never see it.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if there'd be something I'd love to do, for sure. You, anything like that? Any shows that you'd want to go to? Jerry Springer's.
Yeah, Phil Donahue was on there.
Maury Povich.
I can't believe he's still on and still rocking those paternity tests.
Yeah, this is bread and butter. You are not the father.
Those are great though. They're still like there's this free internet television, or I guess lack of internet from television, but there's this free internet channel that's what it airs. Old Springer, Maury, and I think the Steve Wilco show.
Okay, yeah. Steve used to be his bodyguard, or one of the security guards.
So I've thrown on a couple old Maury's, and it's always the paternity ones.
My cousin was on Jenny Jones back, at least 20 years ago when it was popular, and the topic was it was him and his friend that were flown down. The topic was, you've embarrassed me so bad. I don't know if we could ever be friends.
Amazing.
And it was from when they went to the Mexico trip in high school that seniors go to, and Mark, his name. There's photos of him like, he's passed out or whatever, and his friend was so upset, but he wasn't really upset. They told him to play it up for the show or whatnot.
Real?
It wasn't, and they brought him on, and Jenny was saying, like, you should apologize to him, or I demand an apology. And he was saying that it was while the stories were true, I guess you could say, there was a huge emphasis on like, let's build it up, like let's really blow the roof off this place, and just make it as crazy as possible. Yeah. And he was saying that the night before in the hotel, him, his buddy, and like other guests on the show that episode were all on the same floor in the hotel, and they're all having drinks, and two people end up getting into a bit of a fight before others broke it up, and so then they had to awkwardly go on the show the next day and pretend like nothing happened. So pull back the curtain a little bit on trash TV and what the experience was like. So
I feel as there's a very good docu-series on those shows. I think you kind of have to wait till like they're all done, because obviously you are pulling the curtain open on all that stuff. But I think that would be worth a watch to see like how much of it is emphasized, how much of it is played for them, and how much these shows go out of their way to take something like, because you would think a lot of these people are thinking going in that they're going to get some help or something, or some sort of resolution, not knowing that these guys are kind of just playing it for laughs for themselves.
I wonder if there is a hesitancy because then they would expose all of the dirty tricks that they used. But then again, like if there's a statute of limitations where they can't be, where they can't be penalized for it, if it was something that was unjust that they were doing, then why not? But there's always some sketchy shit. There was a talk show that was in, I think it was like the 90s, where one guy was on the show, and his friend or whatever professed his love for him. And then like a few weeks later, one of them ended up shooting the other one and like murdered them.
Yeah, I think that was Jenny Jones.
Was it Jenny Jones?
I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, because that was kind of like the end of her show.
So you know what? I think you might be right. Yeah. So, like, I mean, like if that's well documented, think of all the other stuff that's going on behind the scenes that we haven't heard of, you know?
Like if the person wasn't on 15 times to find out the father of her baby.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know who it is. I have 15 kids.
It's been that many people in that short a time.
Yeah, I tell you.
I know you got a jet, so I will do our patented fake commercial ad, and then I have a quick game for you,
Yes.
and then we'll wrap her up.
I'll blow this town to smithereens! Time bombs! Try to get up there in time, Spider-Man!
Watch me cut my web, Goblin.
Watch yourself fall, Silk Slinger!
Gotta stop the bombs in time.
If I don't get you, webhead, my diagnoses will!
Holy Hannah!
And you're running out of fluid!
Is this more action than even Spider-Man could handle?
Spider-Man, a video game from Parker Brothers, the ones to beat.
Good old Atari.
That was amazing.
No pun intended.
Ah, no pun intended. That was amazing. I didn't know that game existed, but it's like I love retro, old commercials, videos like that. I get glued to them right away.
Yeah, they put more effort in that Goblin costume than Sony did back in 2002.
No doubt. It's so true. It's so true. Yeah, I liked it though.
Oh, it's good stuff.
I'm not gonna get quizzed on like the game and the rules and whatnot.
No, man. You know a lot about comic books, so this is what's the issue.
What's the issue?
So what I'm gonna grill you about this time is first appearances. If you know which one had happened, I'll give you an easy one off the top. Spider-Man.
Yeah, Amazing Fantasy number 15.
That is correct.
Okay.
See,
Okay.
they're gonna progressively get harder, I swear.
Okay.
Well, at least in my mind, I think they're harder. But for you, it'll be
wow.
So
no pressure.
You think it was worth $3.99 back in?
Man, can you like just really quick sidebar on this?
Yeah.
In 2001, Ultimate Spider-Man came out, and I remember I was living in Calgary at the time, and I went to the local comic book shop, and I was going to grab like 4 or 5 of them because I was like, you know what, I just have this feeling, and I didn't. I grabbed 2, and at its highest point, it was worth like $500-$600. I don't think it's quite that high now, but just one of those moments is like, oh man. But yeah, like you wonder if there was any kids with that foresight back then for like 10 cents an issue or whatever the case might be, just to buy as many as they could.
Well, I heard like the last one that was kind of like that was like when The Walking Dead first came out. Is like you would think, like in this case, like you have a Spider-Man or whatever. You're wondering, oh, I don't know, like they renumber them all the time. They do all this stuff, but
yeah,
apparently, like right off the bat, The Walking Dead was like out of print.
Yeah, no, it's and it's so right now a good condition, mint condition US would go for about 1,200. Crazy. Anyway. Okay, so I'm 1 for 1.
All right, Batman.
This is Detective Comics.
It is thus DC.
Yeah, Detective Comics. I get this mixed up with Spider-Man. Detective Comics 47.
27.
Close.
I'll give you half points for the 7.
Okay.
Like really, of all of the numbers,
Yeah.
you could have said. Look at that cover too.
Yeah, great.
64 pages of action.
Like just like thought bubbles galore. And like shucks and darn and golly and
like I said, 10. This one's 10 cents. Yeah.
1939.
I miss going to the corner store and having like the penny candies and stuff like that.
Man, I've been looking for years for a spinner rack. I just can't find one, but I want to get a spinner rack so badly for my room here. So like all my issues that I'm reading that week, I can just put them on, or if there's ones that I go back to often. But it just,
you don't have something like on an eBay or.
They do, but the ones that I found, they are just like newer fabricated. Like I would like to get an old vintage one, I need to go to like an antique
squeaks when you
shop.
turn in it.
Yeah, like just like an old I want there to be like a threat of getting, a rusty edge
Yeah.
pricked into my finger and like getting a tetanus shot. Like that's I want to live with that fear.
You almost have to like drive to like buckfuck nowhere
Yeah.
and go into a corner store and like buy it off the lady who's got like the Reader's Digest or something in it.
Yep. Yeah, like Arnprior or someplace like that. No offense to anyone in Arnprior. Beautiful city, but you never know.
Apparently, it's one of the cities on the grow around this area.
Not surprised.
Number 3, Wolverine.
That would be Incredible Hulk 182.
182. I have the cover for 181 because he was on the cover there.
Yeah,
But it's 181 to 182.
that's right. I just did a post about him today, actually.
I did. I saw it. It was fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
Really like
Thank
hit the
you.
ground running with those shots. Dr. Doom, not the Fantastic Four, but Dr. Doom's first appearance.
I'm gonna say Fantastic Four 6.
Look at those boots on Doom.
They look like
Like he's all metal, but he's got these like little
That's right.
moccasin type.
It's like what is it? What's the issue number?
Oh, it's 5.
Oh,
So close.
but yeah, he's got like almost like the old Hercules. Remember the cartoon Hercules? He's got that belt. All he's missing is the ring. He's got the
He's got a
moccasins.
tiger too.
He's got the tiger. Yeah, that was before the Doom bots.
Look at that Betty haircut on Sue Storm, eh?
Amazing.
That's sign of the times.
Sign of the times. That's right. I was one off.
It's 2 of them you're very close. Howard the Duck.
Oh,
Everyone's favorite mini cameo from the Guardians movies.
You know
Also
what?
Marvel's
Honestly,
first movie.
I
was surprised by this when I looked it up.
Tales of Suspense. 15. No, 40. Is it Tales of Suspense?
It is Man Thing.
Oh, Man
Number
Thing.
19.
Yeah, I would not have gotten that in a million years.
Who's he
Howard
fighting?
the Duck. Man Thing looks like Khazar. Is it Khazar?
He's got the same Doom boots.
You ever seen that old Howard the Duck movie from the 80s?
I saw that a lot.
That's a movie that probably wouldn't be made in today's from what I remember of it anyway. It's been a few years.
They got away with duck nudity when he's blasting
That's
through
right.
the apartment and there's a female duck bathing in his bathtub.
Yep.
And I saw this as a kid.
John Lithgow, was it? Or no, not
No,
John.
it was
the guy.
It was Ed Rooney.
Jeffrey
Jones.
He got caught diddling.
That's right, he did.
Yeah. All right.
He was in that. Was Tim Robbins, I think, was in that too?
I don't
And Leah
remember.
Thompson
Yes, Leah Thompson. I remember.
and the rock band.
I gotta watch that again. I wonder if it's on Disney Plus.
I don't know. I know George
have to check
Lucas
it
was
out.
behind that bad boy.
Was he really?
Oh, he was. He ate some shit for that.
Oh yeah, that's not. It's not as cleanly as. Ooh.
As we were talking about
Yeah.
internals, was
Ayrsham
that's
the
right.
judge. Okay, so this would have been Jack Kirby. Yeah, I'm gonna say Eternals.
You got a chat, so this will be the last one.
I got one or two more. Eternals issue 8.
Close. 2. Eternals issue 2.
2. Jack Kirby, great artist.
Black Knight.
I was just talking about this the other day. Black Knight first appeared in. It's not like an obvious. It's like it's an anthology. Is it Werewolf by Night?
That's your guess?
I'm gonna go Werewolf by Night.
Avengers.
Oh, wow.
27.
Way off. Way off. Okay, let's do one more.
All right. I think these are the ones I did basically just to piss you off. Green Arrow.
Arrow.
You named your son.
I know, I did. I really did.
This should be right there.
Yeah, Green Arrow first appeared in I'm gonna say Justice League of America issue 5.
Fun Comics.
Yeah.
Number 6.
Hey, Dr. Fate.
Yeah, Parker was going through his toys. He has a Dr. Fate.
This little guy right here.
Yeah, that's what he has. He said, who's this guy? So that's Dr. Fate.
Pierce Bronson is portraying him in the Black Adam movie.
Yeah, he looks fantastic.
I haven't seen the actual like costume picture, but
No, I just seen him like even with his like beard and mustache and stuff.
oh yeah,
He looks
Pierce
good.
Bronson, like
He's got it going on.
yeah, beautiful man. Do we have one more, or is that it?
This is what I want to pick up. The Baffler.
The who?
Exactly. No, that was it. The rest was just to bug you.
Oh,
Like I legit
was
looked up like
fun.
most obscure characters I could find.
the Baffler is that? I'm gonna say that's DC.
It's
It's gotta be.
I'll give you that. So
Yeah.
correct, DC, and it was in Detective Comics number
Detective.
143, The Pied
That-
Piper in Peril.
Whoever's on the cover there looks scary. Is it the Pied Piper? Yeah.
It is. And then Hell Cow.
Is that Image?
No, it's Marvel.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll be in Doctor Strange's Multiverse of
knows?
Madness.
And that guy was Giant Size Man Thing. Number
You know what? It makes sense. Like you'd see all the not weird,
Yeah.
but just obscure characters in Man Thing. What's the issue? I love it.
and then the other one's all more your forte of storylines.
Oh, there we go. Wicked. Well, I do have to drop.
Yes, sir. But it was fun. We'll do
Until
this
next
again.
time. Yes.
For Steve, this is me, Cory, saying keep it casual.